There's a certain New Zealandness in my music. You know, just the physical country. You know, the rivers, the water, the mountains. For me, jazz is an attitude. It's an attitude towards life, and it's all about the pursuit of truth. What's real? I mean, we need this in today's world. I mean, more than ever, this immediate emotional connection that transcends the music on the page.
He is so written into the history of jazz itself in the world, and that is an extraordinary thing. He is indomitable and he's unique. It's a Hall of Fame, it's where he should be.
Do you think Mike is New Zealand's greatest jazz export? Maybe he's New Zealand's best musical export. You know, he's a phenomenal person and musician and player, and a career that long and that consistent. He's just had this enormously creative life.
He has endless resources of ingenuity in his own playing, his devising of melodies and harmonies, his extraordinary rhythmic command. But this even bigger, more profound issue, you hear this musician and then you hear them play with Mike and you think, oh, I didn't know they were that good.
Mike had a way of bringing things out of people. He could get players to play, and he'd say to you, I want you to play, like Monk said, play my piece, don't just play generic.
I always think of spaciousness when I think of Mike's playing, and it's extremely groovy, but it's also really free and it's very liberal. It is kind of the epitome of that thing that you maybe can't be taught.
Mike really is the fourth member of a quartet of truly great pianists, Chick Corea, Herbie Hancock and Keith Jarrett.
The 50s and 60s were the real heyday of jazz here in New Zealand, and it was during that time that Mike Nock of Ngaruawahia discovered that it was his kind of music. He went to study in the United States on a scholarship.
This is the place I used to live. That's it. That's it right there, man. Damn, that's going back away now.
Mike surely has bragging rights to say that this whole idea of jazz fusion, that with Fourth Way, he's one of the innovators of that, in the sense that he didn't come to it because Miles had done it. He was doing it.
The music they played was rock, raw guts. It was mathematical formulas with an earthly meaning. It was patterns of mirth, floating out to posterity to linger forevermore. The Fourth Way were praising the God of music, the God of earth, and the God of love. The musicianship displayed and the music they invented actually elevated them onto another plane from myself. The walls opened up. Time became timeless, and the universe was theirs.
What he has given is the willingness to integrate and to collaborate through the years with New Zealanders in New Zealand in different situations. So he's always giving that back. He's inspired so many, like myself. Like I consider Mike a mentor to me. You know, when I was in New York doing the hard yards, you know, I'd ring up Mike. You know, I'd been there maybe 2 years and it was like pretty hard going. So he's always supported. What he's given is the beauty of his music.
Working with Mike is a revelation. He's a master composer 4 improvisers, but he's also a pretty useful one when it comes to writing for a string quartet or an orchestra.
The experience of working with Mike was really wonderful, and how our two sort of worlds came together actually very naturally. It's interesting that he wrote that in response to the earthquakes. As a musician coming to it, that sort of subtext wasn't necessarily part of our awareness, which is kind of interesting. So the inspiration is one thing, but then it's our expression of what Mike has written and how we worked together with him. Now, looking back on that time, was just the wonderful joy that he brings to everything he does. Sense of possibility all the time.
I got to know Mike well in the mid-2000s when I was working on his biography. Mike can be quite an intense guy, and sometimes the conversations were pretty full on, but I vividly remember how Mike would be telling me about Sam Rivers or the vicissitudes of life in New York during the 60s, and he'd suddenly remember some crazy thing that had happened, and we'd fall about laughing. Mike Knock's a great guy, and he's a wonderful musician. And I think a big part of that is his joie de vivre, the sort of irrepressible love of life and sense of joy.
Mike's definitely taught me like a lightheartedness, but also a seriousness. And that comes from just so many nights where I've gone over to Mike's place at like 3 p.m. and left after midnight because we've just been sitting there talking about music so intensely without either of us realizing what time it is. Because with Mike, you end up talking about the music a lot. What's the music asking for?
A blessed life. It has been a blessed life, whatever happens. And music has been very much an enabler of that life being blessed. Wow, this is kind of the culmination of a lot of things. It really does situate me back home. This is my roots. This is me. This is who I am. Thank you for this wonderful honor.